What's up, guys? It's Amma Jamma here. Let's go over Bitcoin and what I am looking at from here. So all you ICT haters, close your ears because I'm about to point out something real quick and it's going to set up what I'm watching for now. So as we could clearly see, this is the monthly chart as well. So on these breakouts that we've seen, so right here, what my eyes are immediately drawn to is this right here. So back in late 2024 into 2025, we created this fair value cap right here. All right. And as we can see, we ended up coming down, closing that out, and then pushing back up perfectly. So if we continue this ICT fair value gaps, which is what I noticed right here as well, this was another fair value gap right here. Okay. We saw that clearly, saw that fair value gap as well. Um, so as you can see, we drew it in simple terms. The fair value gap is the gap in between a wick high of a first candle and a wick low of the third candle. So from this wick low, this wick high to this wick low. And both these fair value gaps, we have clearly seen that we have eventually come down and bounced right off of them. Right here we did, and right here we did. So that's interesting. I mean, not just interesting, but substantial. So it was pretty easy just on the monthly chart to predict these bounce points. Plus, if we draw a line through our previous all-time highs, which is right here where we have the most touch points on the monthly. So I'm going to put approximately right here, that is also exactly where the top of that fair value gap is. So that's a substantial point as well. So let's do the same right here. Most touch points, we're going to draw it right here, which is at the bottom of the next fair value gap. All right. So what I'm noticing on Bitcoin now is this fair value, much smaller scale, but I'm kind of looking at this area here. So what I've seen is that do also have a fair value gap right here on the monthly. So that's kind of my do or die point. What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. First of all, on our monthly time frame, this right here, we don't like the looks of that. All these top wicks. Okay, we're getting a lot of rejection. Yes, we broke that higher high. We came up to this area here with our all-time highs in that 124 area. But also we have seen while gold and silver rips, we have Bitcoin beginning to be a little bit bearish. I know some Bitcoin enthusiasts say buy, buy, buy. I'm talking about trading, not investing at this point. Of course, I've got Bitcoin that I won't sell, but on top of that, what's next for Bitcoin? Where am I plotting my buys at on Bitcoin? And I'll tell you where I'm plotting my buys on Bitcoin. All right. So right here, that's my very first level that I'm looking at. If we lose the bottom of that fair value gap, which is pretty much at 95K right here. If we lose that, we should come down quite hard. Now let's add our volume profile. Let's identify our volume shelves on this Bitcoin chart. Okay, that's our next step. So as we can see right here, a couple places we do have that volume shelf. Obviously, first one I'm noticing is right here, which is exactly at the bottom of this fair value gap. So we're checking all these boxes of what do we need to hold in general for crypto to quote unquote be okay. Obviously, 100,000 is a major level, but it's very likely we could dip below it and then catch a bid. For me, if we come down and we lose that 97 or so area and continue to come down, then we're in trouble. That's where I really expect us to kind of tumble hard at that area. Okay. So where would I set up my buys in this area? I'll tell you where I'd set up my buys. My very first place that I would have a buy set is right here. Okay. This is a major pivot. And what I mean by that is it was this high here and exactly where we bounced here. So that to me is a pretty substantial level, and that's 74. So that means that my first buy that I am looking for is going to be at 75,000. Okay. I don't know why that didn't write correctly, but it is what it is. I will use my text instead. So I will set up my first buy at 75,000. And ideally, what we want to see at that area is I want to see a dip below with a reclaim. So setting alarm like this, what I ideally want to see is us to dip below this line and clear this liquidity. What does that mean? That means I want to see us dip below and then push back above, and then the close back above 75K there. That's my trigger point to buy. I will not buy if we don't clear out the lows of this candle right here, which, as let's see what it is. The lows of this candle, which is 74.4. So we need a dip below 74.4 and a reclaim of 74.4. 74.4 and 75. So that is my Bitcoin plan right there. We want the dip below 74.4 and then the 75 reclaim. That's what I'm looking at ideally here. And there's many different reasons that I'm looking at that, but that's my first thought process. Now, my second is, as you can see right here, our multi-year point of control is sitting at 67.4, which is this pink line right here. That's our point of control. That's our multi-year point of control. So if we lose 74.4 and we cannot reclaim it, this would be the next area that we're looking to in purely volume here. That's the next area. Of course I'm on the USD Coinbase. So it's loose, but it's going to transfer over to most exchanges. So at that point, what we're looking at, if we got these two massive volume shelves from here to here, which is this entire area of chop. All right. So the second buy by proxy that I would look for is the bounce and the hold of 63, and then the reclaim of 70. So those are two areas that we're really looking for on Bitcoin if we lose the 95K area. And what I'm talking about when I say lose it means not that we dip below it and we immediately assume we're coming down. I'm talking about a dip below, come up, retest, and then rejection. At that point, I see us coming all the way down into our 75,000. I will not buy anything in this range here of 74 to 96,000. I'm not interested in this range at all. My buy point is dip below 74.4, clearing out that liquidity from this here, and then a buy at 75. Thanks, guys.